Right, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God,
I'm ready.
I feel like I've been hit by a bus. Like I have not stopped listening to the audio. It's just a horror story.
Yes.
It's like if this was fiction, it would keep me up at night.
Yes, yes.
And it's real and it's happening to someone that we've loved for over half our lives.
All of our lives.
All of our lives. Before we knew her, we loved her. We just could feel her in the ether.
You could feel her.
You could just feel her in the ether.
Something had to have made us gay in our mother's womb.
And it was Britney. It was Britney.
Getting her gay juju in our system.
Oh my God, fuck Britney Spears.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Two Gay Mats. It's Matt Steele.
It's Matt Palmer.
You all know what this is about. We have been talking about this for years, and now today, June 23rd,
Yes.
is the day that Britney Spears was finally able to make her voice heard in court.
Yes.
I'm assuming like some sort of Zoom audio moment to a judge where she talked about her feelings about her conservatorship. And they were some words indeed.
And the thing is, we all knew hypothetically how horrible this whole situation was and how bad things must have gotten for her to not have performed in such a long time, and that whole domination tour being announced and then not happening, and then her putting up that weird like, oh my dad is sick thing. And it just, nothing ever fully made sense. We all knew it was strange that she and her boyfriend couldn't get married. And then of course the framing Britney Spears of it all. There's everything so highlighted on the case, but when you hear it from her.
That was the most devastating thing about this audio. For years, we have been hearing Britney Spears through her Instagram. It's the only time we've really been hearing her talk about anything, because it's the only time she's like able to really publicly speak, I guess. And her Instagram is very much like, happy, I'm eating this today. I love cheese.
Right.
I love this new dress. And
look at this like Google image of a rose, you know?
Exactly. I burnt my gym down.
That was great.
I mean, of course, she always sounded so positive on her Instagram, and so to hear her voice just sound like the way it did, just to be a natural, just like, this is what is happening to me, this is serious, like this is what needs to be done.
I'm being abused, I am traumatized, I need this conservatorship to end, and I don't want to go through an evaluation to do it.
The fact that she openly admitted in court, and we all heard that she was told that she shouldn't speak publicly about how she was feeling, the fact that she actually is sad and angry, and the fact that she says every day she cries.
She cries every day. She's like beyond depressed, and there's so many highlights highlights meaning lowlights, meaning like horrifying, but like some of the things she would say would just hit you and be like, oh my fucking God. Like, we'll go through all of them, but the IUD thing.
Okay.
The IUD thing is like, oh, this is illegal. Like, obviously all of this is illegal. There's a lot of abuse happening, but like, she is an adult woman who clearly is well enough and fit enough to be going on tour and putting on albums. How many albums has she put out since the conservatorship started? Like, several. She's been on tour every 5 fucking minutes, paying for all of their lives. She's fit enough to sign your checks that you cash to live on, but she's not fit enough to have access to her own money? Like,
or her own body.
Or her own fucking body? Like,
that's the thing. We knew that she didn't have access to her own money. This was very much a known thing. The IUD thing, that was
I can't believe that's legal.
The nail on the coffin. I can't believe she didn't open with that.
I mean, the thing is, it was near the end. It was like, wait, what did you say?
When we heard the audio of it, and it was, I guess, being broadcast to a group of people. Throughout different moments, they would cheer, they would go, oh, and they would, gasp or out of shock or something.
Right.
The IUD moment, you could tell everyone was just like, oh.
And if you haven't heard, I'm sure you've heard by now if you're watching this video, but basically Britney wants to have more kids with her boyfriend, and she wants to get married, and both of those things the conservatorship does not want her to do and will not set up a doctor's appointment for her to get an IUD. It was put in, I believe, not by her request, at some point by the conservatorship. Unclear, but that's like the assumption that I got from that. And she certainly has requested for a doctor's appointment to have the IUD removed because she wants to have another baby. She's 39 and she loves obviously her 2 babies now, but she's like, I would like more kids, and my conservators are saying I am not allowed to get this IUD removed. That is...
They are essentially chemically enslaving her.
Yes. It seems like the big breaking point for what happened with Britney happened about the Dominion tour, or Domination tour, whatever it's going to be called. And she basically in rehearsal was like, oh, I don't like this dance move. And like the fact that she spoke up and fought about something, the entire like conservatorship, the choreographers, everyone on her team locked themselves in a room away from her for about 45 minutes to an hour. She eventually thought like, oh, they're being nicest to me. They said if I don't want to go back to Vegas and do the Domination Tour, I don't have to. So like, we're canceling it. That's that on that. And then soon thereafter, her therapist calls her up and is basically like, hey, I heard you're not taking your medication and you're being incredibly difficult to work with. So I'm gonna now put you on lithium.
That's just insane, the fact that they would manipulate her therapist into believing this one thing about her, which would eventually change how her therapist diagnoses her and what her therapist does to her, like, and putting her on a very, very harsh drug.
Very harsh.
Huge side effect.
And she had no choice in the matter to be like, I don't want to take this drug. Like, that's not even on the table.
Because there's someone who is with her every morning to like take it, right?
Right. I think with her normal meds, there's someone there to take it. So I don't know why that person wasn't interviewed. Why isn't it like, is she really not taking her meds? And she would have been like, no, she takes them every morning. We have a whole routine. But alas, she was put on lithium and she said, I felt drunk. I don't even drink and I felt drunk. I couldn't hold a conversation with either of my parents. That's how bad my reaction to lithium was, but I knew I was being punished for like speaking out. And then I don't know if it coincides with it must have coincided with the 4 months in that rehab facility that she was sent to and told that, oh, but you're gonna be paying $60,000 to be at this rehabilitation center for 4 months. And she's like, I didn't even drink. What am I being rehabbed for? And she's like, I'm on the phone with my dad. I'm bawling my eyes out for an hour and he loves it. There's nothing my dad likes more than to feel like he's in control over someone as powerful as me.
It's just so disgusting. The fact that she feels like her dad loves the power of this. The fact that she's being forced to spend $60,000 a month of her own money. To go in this rehab facility.
Against her will. It's so hard to listen to because she like is clearly nervous and like stumbling over her words a bit and reading a very long and involved typed out written statement that she'd already prepared.
Well, of course, like when was the last time she made a speech of any length in public, let alone a speech that was so personal?
And she kept saying, I didn't know this was going to be public, but I'm glad it is, so thank you. She talks about how she does not want to be going to therapy in public. She doesn't want to be going out to Westlake and like the paparazzi basically know where her therapist office is, so they sit there and wait for her to come out and all disheveled and crying and take pictures. And they're like, they laugh in my face. The fact that she's talking about all of like the public shaming that she has gone through, and she never once mentioned like, I wish these documentaries would stop coming out. It's like, I think she's happy they're out. Because the thing is that she's like, I understand there's a big spotlight on my conservatorship now, but as someone who's like, I'm embarrassed, I didn't know this about the conservatorship, I'm doing my research, never once did she say she was embarrassed that people were talking about it. And it's one of those things where you watch the Framing Britney Spears documentary and you're like, oh, am I doing a good thing or bad thing by watching this? You see some of the Free Britney people that like pop up in the documentary and it's like, I could tell by her Instagram she was sending me this message, and it was like, okay, I don't know if that's exactly right, but then it's like, but the 90% of what y'all were saying is true, and Britney confirmed it today. She's come out and just said it. It's like, I'm so angry, it's insane. And she's right. She's like, it's been 13 years. I don't know anyone anything. I don't know if the process had begun for her to end the conservatorship or if there was a previous evaluation for a different reason. But she's like, the last time I was evaluated and like being tested on how like competent I am or how intelligent I am, it just is embarrassing and it's shameful. And like, I don't feel like I owe anyone that at all. And the Jamie Spears legal representative was basically like, well, Britney also has young children and other family members that like, since this is going to be a public thing, like we should be able to step in if their privacy is being, breached. And Jamie owns Britney's privacy rights, blah, blah, blah. And Britney pops in and says, they've done a great job of exploiting my privacy up until now. So if I have something to say, I think you all should just sit and listen to it.
Okay, Britt. Yes. There were so many points where I was just like, you better
I know!
None more so than when she just flat out says, I'm good at what I do.
Yeah, she's like...
Because like, yes you are, that's a fact.
She is, and I love
you are the best at what you do.
She's like, they were telling me the reason I had to go to this rehab facility was because I wasn't rehearsing and I wasn't taking my meds, which neither of which is true. There's videos of me rehearsing. I was teaching all of these new dancers the choreography.
Her choreography.
My choreography.
And she's like, I was not good.
I was great!
Yes!
It seems seems so obvious from the outside looking in, and that's why you feel, there's a million reasons why you feel for her, but when she's like, I'm still learning about the legality behind all of this, but I have common sense, and the fact that I was well enough and fit enough to be the lead choreographer, the director, and the performer of a world tour that I was forced to be on, and that was all okay, maybe I don't need a conservatorship. Maybe I don't need to be a fucking conservatee. I want to have access to my money. I want to be able to ride in a car with my fucking boyfriend.
That one line, I just love, just like the thesis of it all.
I know.
I took a screenshot of this.
I'm so glad.
And it should be the title of her next album. All I want is to own my money, for this to end, and my boyfriend to drive me in his fucking car.
In his fucking car. There just was so much happening, and the fact of the IUD, and like the IUD and the like, I want to get married, I want the whole thing, like I feel like I deserve that, and if I want to take 2 or 3 years off, I should be allowed to do that and not be punished. I feel like the way her conservatorship is set up, it is so, if you do this, if you don't go on this world tour that we've already planned for you, that you agreed to, we're gonna sue you. If you don't do this, we're gonna send you to a rehab facility. If you don't go at these dates, everything's always being held over her head as if she's a child, and she's like, I'm a 40-year-old woman who is a very successful person at their job and is paying to keep food on the table for everyone on this Zoom call except the fucking judge.
Oh, when she's just like, reminder, these people all work for me.
They work for me.
Why am I feeling like enslaved by these people who work for me?
Right. I feel like the best thing for her, and I think she obviously knows this, is the public outcry and the fact that we now know, because the only thing that was holding some people, and myself included, from being full Free Britney people was like, I needed to hear her say it. I just needed it to come from her, because I can watch the documentaries, I can feel for her, and from what I believe I understand of the situation. But like, until it comes from her, I don't know if I'm encroaching on her privacy. And now she's like, I want it all out there. I don't want this to be a family secret. I don't like the hyper focus in that previous part of the call on her medical diagnoses and her medical records, and like the fact that needs to be sealed. This needs to be sealed. Why? Just so you can always have something hanging over her? Because Britney's not scared. Like Britney's like, tell it all. I want the chance to tell my story. I want to get out of here and sue all of my fucking family. I want to sue my management. I want to sue my family. The people who did this to me should all be in jail, my dad included. Oh. Iconic. It also is like, I found it interesting that she kept saying my family and not my dad. Because I'm like, Lynn Spears had a representative on the call who seemed to be taking up for Britney as well, but she's like, my family can go and speak about my situation publicly and make me feel like a fucking idiot. And her brother, Brian, went on a podcast and talked about her conservatorship.
I forgot about that.
And I was like, I don't think it's just Jamie that she's like, fuck you. We may be blood related, but like, you do not have my best interest at heart. I just can't believe she's been going through this for so long, and I can't believe how bad it got. And I really hope the fact that this is now so public and the outcry is going to be so loud. Like, we thought it was loud with the framing Britney Spears of it all, and I think it's going to go to that next level.
Oh yeah.
I think there's no way that this conservatorship doesn't end soon-ish. Like, it has to.
And if it doesn't, we riot.
Exactly, we're burning the city to the fucking ground, because Britney deserves it. I watch Ridiculous People on Bravo every week, and half of them sound less together than Britney Spears did on, like, this is a person with her faculties. Like, even if she's tripping over some words because she's nervous for speaking publicly, she's got her shit together. She's clearly not drinking or on drugs. She's very straight edge. Like, why can't she have, like, that 2007 thing happened 14 years ago and she's still paying for it. Let this woman live, Mike. And she's begging. She's like, I'm so pissed. I'm so sad. I just want to have what I deserve. I want access to my own money, and I want what I deserve to have. She just wants autonomy. That's what every person deserves.
Yeah, and she wants a break of however many years where she can just go on vacation or sit at home and just be happy, have a baby, have sex with her hot boyfriend who can become her husband if she wants him to become.
And they were like, oh yeah, well, if you don't go and do this rehab facility, or if you don't go to your therapy this time a week and do all of this, you can't go to Maui. It's like, bitch, you're not my fucking mom, and I'm not a child.
I can't go
to Maui with my money?
With my money? I'm Britney Spears. Now, who cares if I'm Britney Spears? I'm an adult.
I'm an adult, and it's mine. It's just, it's so I feel like this is going to highlight the abuse of conservatorships that must happen in so many different cases.
Oh, I love that how she was just like, FYI, judge, there are thousands of abusive conservatorships.
Yes, and this is just one of them.
And it's like, yes, speaking out for the people.
I'm excited for her to get out of it and for this to be one of her causes. Like, I foresee a huge future for her. And honestly, if after all this she's too traumatized to ever put out music or perform again, that is fine. I love her and as a person as much as I love her as an artist, and I want whatever she wants for her life. But she can do so much and does not need to be it's just it's all based in greed. Like, she's just funneling these people's lives, and Jamie Spears has been living off of this woman. And they said in the Britney Spears documentary, when that Jive Records lady was on screen, she's like, I met him once and he said she's gonna buy me a boat.
And she has been working for years and years, trying to go along with it and make it work. She literally agreed to do that tour. She was like, I was forced to do the tour because they said they would punish me if I didn't do it. So I was too scared to say no, so I did it. But you know what? I tried to make the most of it. I tried to be like, you know what? I want to choreograph it. I want to direct it. I'm going to make the best out of a bad situation.
And then she said, no, I don't want this dance move. And the world crashes down. She's allowed to say no. She is the artist, the head of the company that you are getting paid from is Britney Spears. When she gets out of it and tells her story in whatever way she wants to and advocates for other people that are in conservatorships that are abusive, I can't wait for whatever the future holds for it. I hope she feels proud of what she did today because it was very impressive. It was very courageous. I feel like the judge really responded to her and was like, I really appreciate you being here and for the courage it took for you to say all of these things. And Lynn Spears' person was basically like, that's all well and good, but we need an action plan, because what Britney said is we had this same conversation in May 2019 and there was no motion.
Yes.
Nothing has changed since then, so we need to have things change now. And it's like, good. I think I want to be optimistic. There's just so many eyes on this case now that I don't think it can be forgotten about or swept under the rug. People are going to be bugging these people forever until they let this woman go.
Yeah. So, and we'll be right there with
We will. Oh my God. So if you haven't heard it, I would recommend you listen to it. I don't know if all the audio streams are all getting taken down by the time you see this, but if they are, Variety has the whole transcript of Britney's statement and you can just read it in full and be horrified.
Oh, it's a full read. I read every detail, every punctuation point.
Once this is all in the past, I would love to hear the full story, but I am proud that she was able to say what she needed to say on a public forum today, and only good things for her.
Only good things.
Honestly.
Britney deserves all the good things.
And fuck Jamie Spears. I guess we should wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know below what you thought of the Britney, court moments today. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MattPowerMusic.
And it's Matt Steele.
And 2Gay Matts for both of us. Listen to our podcast, also called 2Gay Matts. Comes out every Monday. Then join us on Patreon. Support us. Go to patreon.com/2GayMatts. We love so many people. Who do we love?
We love
Montana.
Adam Parnell.
Yes.
And Garrett.
Yes. And Richard, I talked over when he said your name, so.
Yes.
I love you too. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back soon with more 2Gay Matts.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Stream glory.